This is more about living in the time of the coronavirus pandemic. This won't come as news. I offer it anyway. Americans are spoiled. In particular, we are not familiar with deprivation, doing without. For the most part, we have plenty of everything. Forget for a moment the material goods, as well as food and clothing. Think about freedom. We have never been deprived of our precious freedom. Most of us are free. We are not oppressed, even though we will bitch and shout and say we are. If we are, our own shortcomings are in the mix somewhere. I've been thinking about poverty some. Poverty is a great deprivation. Poverty is a form of enslavement. In a book I just read, The Odyssey, there was this: Zeus takes away 1/2 of the virtues from a man once the day of slavery closes in upon him. I'll repeat it. Zeus takes away 1/2 of the virtues from a man once the day of slavery closes in upon him. And if the Odyssey told me anything, it is that fortune is highly variable. It is a light thing for the gods, who hold high heaven, to glorify any mortal man, or else to degrade him. And even the mighty Odysseus had his doubts. Ah me, unhappy! What in the long outcome will befall me? These are questions with no answer, long centuries ago, and are yet open-ended today. We are very modern in many, many ways, but when it comes to our fate, no one can be sure of that. In this year 0 CE, the gods seem to be toying with us on many fronts, and everything is unsure, in play. If we are called upon to suffer, how will we respond? It seems to me that we might be better off, or at least a little tougher, if we had experienced more true deprivation. The trumpet appeared wearing a face mask, a black one, for the first time, but it was not a bad optic for him, because he was visiting injured or sick first responders and service veterans at Walter Reed Hospital. One of our sons has not been feeling well, and he was tested for the virus. He won't know the result for several days. Waiting for the result causes additional anxiety. We have a family dinner on Monday nights, and he wanted to know how we felt about him attending. I thought if he was not feeling well, that he should skip it. We could fix up a plate for him, leave it by the back door. In the end, he felt fine and attended as usual. The numbers here and across the country are terrible. Florida numbers could be described as part of an epidemic. Younger people are getting sick, and there are frequent reports of 2 or 3 days of severe illness followed by death. Everything is crazy now, and that's not surprising, not anymore. Crazy now is the norm. We expect it. This is going to be about unemployment crazy. The numbers I'm using are simply what I've heard. There are 43 million people collecting unemployment insurance in America right now. That's crazy. Over 2/3 of them are earning, if you can call it that, more on unemployment than they did on their last job. That's crazy. And when an employer wants to reopen and calls a former employee and says, "Come on back," the employee says, "You know what? I'm fine." That's crazy. The average annual salary, if you want to call it that, for an unemployed person is $50,000. That's crazy. And all of that money is coming from states like mine that are already totally insolvent. That's crazy. Another thing that is crazy is this terrible, crazy situation is not going to go away. The virus is getting much worse. More businesses are going to have to give up, and if anything, the unemployment numbers are going to swell, causing the complete wreckage of everything. And then there would be a collapse. Stop me if you think I'm exaggerating. Please. Our leaders will have no answer for this, and if any one of them claims they do, they will either be lying or crazy. It is incredible how this virus has unstrung everything, and as it gets worse now, people will begin to panic. And until you have seen panic crazy, you ain't seen nothing. Ah, me, unhappy. What in the long outcome will befall me? Two things. That was just another model, and Odysseus worked things out.